Master, I'm curious. When I began taking my classes, Sanskrit words were used that did not make any sense to me, which probably did not make any sense for many of our friends. For example, you would tell me, let's do a mantra, let's do a mudra. And when we would do a mudra and I would put myself in the lotus position, or at least a partial lotus position, what is the purpose of these hand positions, which are mudras? Would you please explain this? When we do a yoga position, which is called an asana, this has to be complemented with a breath and with the position of the hands. For example, this position of the hands, which is a mudra, represents Kundalini, or the serpent, which is vital energy, and the 3 energy channels that are located along the spinal cord, which are Ida, Pingala, and Shushuma. This mudra can be done like this, or other times can be done this other way, since it varies according to the position. When we are in the lotus position and we place the bottom of our feet up, we are charging ourselves with energy, and if before this our breathing is synchronized with the heartbeat and the right mental attitude, this position then becomes a fountain generator of energy. When an individual is tense or nervous and then uses this mudra and places it on the floor, one then discharges the negativity. These are the fingers of Mars, it is said, and by placing them on the floor while in half the lotus position, and as we begin to tranquilize ourselves and discharge all the anger and all the violence, then we remove them from the floor. A mantra is a special sound that we vocalize and project out through our mouth. Precisely, I would like to comment that there is a mantra that is very well known within the Hindu tradition, which is Om Tat Sat. When there is a ceremony, the theurgists utilize the hands in this way and uses the mantra Om Tat Sat, which means I am yourself. I was mentioning to you that nothing happens by coincidence, and that you, for many years, have been using a similar mantra and a mudra when you use the expression Aún hay más, Om Tat Sat. This within magic produces an effect of projection and reception. Positive, I imagine. Of course, when a person is going to threaten, uses the finger of Mars saying, behave well. When we are going to pray, we use a mudra of invocation. When we are going to request something, it is very difficult to ask with clenching hands because the mudra indicates a compliment with your mental attitude. In this way, according to the mudras that an individual does, you can deduce how this individual is. When an individual has clenched hands, this is an irritated or an aggressive individual. The movements that an individual makes with his hands and how he places this indicates a lot. My mother, when she used to talk, she would place her fingers together in this position and close to her solar plexus. Does this have any particular meaning? Of course, this is a mudra in which one can sense a stream of energy, and if it is precisely placed in the solar plexus, the solar plexus is the area through which we receive and we emit all the vibrational states. Through the navel, not only does the mother feed the baby, but we also all sense the positive and negative. When you make a triangulation in this place, you can sense more easily what is in the exterior. One can become more perceptive and receptive of everything, is it not? Of course. When someone knows a key or a code in order to sense better, then the individual becomes very sensitive. But when this key is not known, or when the organism is disturbed, the individual then cannot sense very well. since there is a series of sounds and vibrations that cannot be sensed if the individual is not correctly attuned or detoxified. Of course, this is the reason why it is recommended not to drink alcohol or not to smoke. So in this manner, the body is not toxic and the individual then can be more receptive to these vibrations. Of course, when the organs of the body are used in accordance to nature's intentions, then you can become very attuned to nature. I believe that we need to continue talking more about this, and I believe that all these conversations regarding all these occult meanings that we are learning are going to be of great use for you as they are also for myself. Now, the mudras and the mantras have a greater value.